Alright guys, today we're going to talk about masks. Coronavirus video again. Sick of talking about it. I kind of been ignoring it and going fishing. It's worked pretty good for me. But, so somebody asked me what my opinion on the whole mask controversy was. And, there's a lot going on with it. There's a lot of theories about it. A lot of people don't really understand the coronavirus yet. We still don't know exactly how it works. When it all started, people were talking about taking people's temperatures, and at work we had this policy for a short while that was if anybody leaves the building and comes back in, you gotta recheck their temperature, as if you step outside and you've developed an instant fever and you got symptoms just from stepping outside, it's just floating in the air magically through the atmosphere. And I thought that was bullshit. And then when they started talking about oh, it actually can transmit through the air. And then you look into that, and it's oh, it just can transmit in a certain environment in a lab. If they pump air in, they try to keep it afloat. They can kind of keep it afloat for a while, but gravity always pulls particles down, and humidity adds and makes it heavier and stuff. So I don't think it can actually just travel through the air. So, and then you got this whole thing with the if you look on the news, there's a lot of news right now about unmasking. And I didn't know if that was talking about masks, coronavirus masks, or if it was talking about that TV show, The Masked Singer, where they have celebrities wearing weird outfits and they unmask them. Apparently, it's got to do something with something to do with politics, Michael Flynn, and the whole thing about whatever that's about. I don't even know what it's about. It's just a bunch of Obama stuff, and there's a whole thing with Biden's son and Russia. I don't know what all's going on with it, but my mom and dad follow all that crap, but I can't get into it. It's like a soap opera to me. I don't know all the players, I don't know the story, but I guess it has something to do with unmasking somebody that was supposed to be kept secret or something during an investigation, and they figured out it was Michael Flynn. I don't know. So the mask controversy, first of all, is wearing a mask actually effective against coronavirus? So I had to wear a mask at work. Still do. I usually wear one of these. It's a surgical mask over the ears. If you wear it this is how you're supposed to wear it. This is how I wear it because I have glasses, and I actually think being able to see is actually more beneficial than, because if I wear it over my nose, it fogs my glasses up and I can't see. Plus it gets really hot, and it's you need to be able to breathe and see. That's pretty important, I think, in life. But I just wear it because it's a requirement. A lot of people wear them just because it's a requirement. Now, you will see pictures of people real dumbasses that'll take scissors and cut out a hole where they can breathe, which completely undoes the entire purpose of the mask. You might as well just wear it like this if you're going to wear it just to say you're wearing it. Why cut a hole in it? Some of them are completely, it's just crotchless panties. The whole thing has been removed. What the fuck are you even doing? Why even bother with it? If you're not going to follow the rules, just don't follow the rules. Don't get all weird about it. So is this one effective? I don't know. Somebody did a study where they coughed on a petri dish without it and with it, and the mask, one that had the mask on, didn't have any things form on the petri dish. So maybe it works. Then you have the really high quality ones, the N95 ones like this. This one's a 3M 8210, which is what everybody has. It's really uncomfortable because of these thick-ass rubber bands. You feel like fucking Bane. Yo, we're born into the darkness. No, that's not how it goes. You think the darkness is your ally? I was born in it, molded by it. Does this work? Again, you gotta wear it over your nose. You got this weird metal piece. You can bend into shape. It's good if you're painting a house or you're in a place with a lot of dust. A lot of guys where I work are just realizing how bad the fucking air quality is where they work, and they're surprised that they don't have lung cancer all these years from breathing in, because they have to change their mask every day because it gets so dirty and filthy. And they're like, oh shit, I've been breathing this in the whole time? So the thing about these is they filter out particulates like a coffee filter. I think the pores or whatever, the size of the holes in these that filters out is 14 microns or 0.14 microns or something like that. So then the actual viral particulates are 0.06 microns, I think is what it was. So it's less than half the diameter of one of these. So think about if you had a cheese grater. No, what's a good example of something that has a lot of holes in it? Expanded metal or something. if you know what that looks like. I don't know what you guys... A tennis racket. Let's say you got a tennis racket, right? And you take a bunch of air rifle pellets or BBs, something the size of BBs, and you throw it at that tennis racket, right? It's going to hit the strings on a few of them. It's going to deflect a few of them, but it's half the diameter of the holes in the tennis racket. A lot of them are going to get through. If any of them get through, then you're infected. So it doesn't really do anything. But people say it also creates a warm, moist environment around your mouth if you're wearing it all day, and makes you more susceptible to like trapping things in there. And you're more likely to get the virus because you're making it a hospitable place for the virus. So maybe it does more harm than good. But a lot of people don't realize that the mask isn't supposed to protect you at all. It's supposed to protect other people from you. Because if you're wearing it and you cough didn't go anywhere. Normally, the whole thing about social distancing, 6 feet, is because I guess they figured out like if you sneeze, which is the most powerful wind thing that a human can do other than like going to Taco Bell, 6 feet is about the maximum distance it travels before the respiratory droplets are hit by the gravity and they fall down to the earth. So this stifles the cloud. It makes it only go out to about right here and it starts falling down. So you don't even have to worry about the 6 feet if you're wearing one of these. You can get closer, but people still want to like socially distance while they're wearing the mask, or people wear the mask when they're in their cars and stuff that's like not really any point to it. The whole thing with the gloves and like cross-contamination with the gloves and not changing the gloves after everything, I mean, you can't change your gloves like in a daily routine in life constantly like a surgeon does. A surgeon does it because he's only in the surgical operating theater for a while and he takes his gloves off at the end. It's not like you go to the bathroom, you change your gloves, you go make something to eat, you change your gloves. You have to pick your nose, you take your glove off, pick your nose, put the new gloves back on every time. Like you're going to run out of gloves if you do it for every little detail in your life. So most people like me, they're just wearing gloves because it's a requirement and they're not really wearing it because they're worried about spreading coronavirus. So I don't know if the gloves can actually make things worse or not. I guess it pretty much is just the same. Unless you're like still washing your gloves like you would wash your hands. It's probably better to not wear gloves and just try to wash your hands more. Yeah, so you see like a lot of old people in the grocery store wearing the masks when it really should be the younger people wearing the mask because they're more likely to give it to the old people, I guess. Or like everybody should be wearing it, I guess. If you think you have it or may have it, or you've been coughing and sneezing a lot. Like if you're just going around, if you're not coughing or sneezing, why are you worrying about it? Just do it like this. Sneeze in your armpit or your elbow or your arm. Another thing you can do with a surgical mask is if you have a paper clip or something, you can tie the back end together and then you can wear it like the other mask. Where it's not over your ears, it's like behind your head. Wait, this totally like worked the other day. And this one's a little bit shorter than my purple one. So yeah, even if the virus is small enough that it would go through it like a tennis racket, like I was saying, right? Like if you're breathing it out, it would filter it out. It wouldn't really stop half of the particles because it's half the diameter of the holes in it. But it would stop it if it's attached to respiratory droplets, like when you cough or sneeze. A lot of that comes out as like saliva or mucus, like a wet microscopic droplet, like a raindrop that has the virus in it. So that would be way bigger than the microns that would be filtered out by this. So that's a point for wearing the mask. This one, did I mention how uncomfortable it is with these rubber bands pulling at your head? If you have hair especially, oh my god. I couldn't wear one of these with hair. I don't know how painters do it. Just doesn't seem like there's anything really happening if you live in a place where I live where nobody really has it yet. So everything down here is like still normal, but if you're like in New York, I'm imagining it's like living in hell or something. A zombie apocalypse or some crazy shit like that. Like, I've never been in the situation yet where you're actually like quarantined at home, like the police will stop you if you go to the park. Like I'm still doing everything as normal. I'm even going places I shouldn't be going because everything's supposedly locked down and closed, so I'm sneaking into places hunting where I shouldn't be hunting and fishing in golf courses, which you'll be seeing pretty soon. Oh my god, that video I just did today, I had a great ending to it. Oh, another thing I forgot to mention. The Lake of the Ozarks in Missouri needs to be nuked. I put this on Facebook. I don't know if the nuclear radiation would like reach me here in Kentucky. Usually prevailing winds force things to go northeast. Okay, so there was a positive COVID-19 case out of the area. That was like, I thought it was like an hour ago they just talked about it. But this is what it looked like, and we're in the middle of a fucking pandemic outbreak. Thousands of people in a tiny area, nobody wearing masks, nobody gives a shit. Bunch of people. I mean, they're probably not even mostly from Missouri. They're probably there like partying. Like people go to Myrtle Beach, they go to Florida, New Orleans. I don't know where they all go for spring break, but why are they even? It's Memorial Day weekend. That's right. Yeah, we're gonna have a lot of massive outbreaks probably, but luckily it's only less than 1% chance of death. But all the grandparents that are gonna get it are probably gonna die from all their kids coming back home. I was reading about this on Reddit, and like they only focused on the fact that they were all like probably peeing in the pool. Like, who cares? Coronavirus times. Would you even want to get in a pool with that many people in there? It just seems weird and awkward to me. Like, you can't swim. You're just standing in a bunch of water with a bunch of gross people. Like, I heard some other crazy stories about people that clean pools for a living or something, and how dirty they get, and like, you know, all the oils on everybody's, like, oh, they're talking about like everybody has like a certain amount of butt cheese, and like if you have that many people, you know, it's like probably 10% butt cheese in that water, and everybody's just like floating around in it. I mean, I'm sure they have like chlorine and stuff in it, but it's gross. Probably why I'm single.